Much like Edward Heath's election come from behind election victory almost 22 years earlier, Prime Minister John Major's victory on April the 9th, 1992 was a major upset because most pre-election polls had predicted either a slight Labour victory or a hung parliament where no party would have an overall majority in the House of Commons. The Conservatives were the only major British political party to promise not to raise the income tax, while the Labour Party had taken the risky step of releasing its election manifesto's tax increase part. John Smith, who was to become the new Chancellor of the Exchequer or British Finance Minister should the Labour Party have won the election, promised that the Britons with a taxable income of over £22,000 per year would pay higher taxes in the interest of creating a more just society in terms of the income distribution. John Major benefited from being outwardly a much nicer person than the increasingly controversial, confrontational, and even authoritarian/autocratic public image of his predecessor Margaret Thatcher, whom a caucus revolt or parliamentary group revolt had forced out of office in November 1990. Britain was suffering from the worldwide economic recession of the early 1990s, but the Conservatives promised that better times were ahead. The turnout again increased, this time to 77.7%. The Conservatives were able to get, for the first time, over 14 million popular votes, about 14,093,000. However, their percentage of the total vote again slightly notched downward, this time to 41.9%. They did get a clear majority of seats, 336, so 21 seat majority overall. Neil Kinnock resigned after this humiliating election defeat. The Labour Party was able to raise its share of the vote to 34.4% and its seats to 271 seats, but they still were clearly behind the Conservatives. The recently deceased Paddy Ashdown led the Liberal Democrats. They received 17.8% of the vote, almost 6 million, almost exactly 6 million popular votes, but only 20 seats.